Marigold has lutein and whatever it is, xeno something in it for your eyes. And I got a ton of marigold in my garden. Look at it all. So I was like, shit, what can I do with it? And then I just had the bright idea. Yeah, I could see if it can dye my hair. Put on my lips. Put on my eyebrows. Look at that. So I can be the orange man. Trump should do this treatment. Probably a lot better for him than the shit he's putting on. Over here, got a lot of marigolds over here. So you squeeze it up like this here. Make it like a paintbrush, like that here. And then you can just kind of put it on your hair. Like that. Some of these are like big. It's cool because they've got like this, like a brush right here. That's right here. It still runs, look. Actually, it still runs. Even when it's out, still has some good. Look at that. See on the hair? You can actually color your whole body. This is like a marigold suntan. Look at this. Look at that. I wonder if this has any, do you think this has any PSP protection? Some lutein PSP protection? What do you think? What do you think? It's like you're painting your body. Look at that. It paints good. How you doing? So, that's a good one right there. Look at that good one right there. See, it's cool. It's got that it's really orangey. Look at my arm here. Watch. Look. Look how it just changes color. Just one flower. Look how much you get from one flower. Look at that. I'm doing a vitamin infusion. Vitamin infusion. Angel. Vitamin infusion. Marigolds is where you get lutein for your eyes. Dude, you know your skin is the biggest membrane on your body? You understand? Your skin is your biggest membrane. So if you want to get plenty of lutein in your body, put it on your biggest membrane. You know? Fucking amazing. See, I figured it out. Trump's out there. Shit. I got to use all these now. I pulled up the whole marigold bush right here. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So it's good for hair dye then. You're telling me it's good for my hair dye then, right? How do you like me with the blonde? These are the South African marigolds. I planted them. Oh, Shizuko, look who came into the channel. Look who happened to come into the channel. I figured out what Trump does. I'm infusing lutein and other shit into my body. What do you think my wife is gonna say? She's not gonna recognize me. Hey, maybe I'll get some. I'll be like, I don't know. I'm your husband's brother. Look at that. Look how it paints. It paints good. I'm not insane. Go. I'm insane. I'm fucking out of the fucking planet insane. You just figured that out? Hey, next time you go to the grocery store, price yourself some eye vitamin. Go to the vitamin section, look for eye vitamin, look for vitamin with lutein in it. Lutein and zeaxanthin, whatever it is. One of the most expensive vitamins. You know where it comes from? Anyone have any idea where it comes from? Anyone have any idea? We're going out tonight. Not lupin, lutein. Lutein. It's in my description. Look at the description of the video. This is what Marigold has in it. This is what I'm infusing into my body. This is what, I'm really 80 years old. You guys know I'm 80 years old, right? You know I'm 80. You know I'm 80 years old. I was born in 47. Dude, I'm a real anti-fascist. You get it right up your nose, too. Get it right up in that nose. Aw, these guys here didn't make it. They're bitter. I don't know, man. I don't know. Supposedly it's good at dyeing clothes. I need to take my shirt off. I should do my whole body. Look. Yeah, no. I'm not taking my shirt off. I'd have to zoom in on my face. Look how fucking orange I am, dude. I cannot believe how fucking orange I am. I am orange. Look how orange it gets me. It gets me orange, man. Shit gets you orange. Don't hit the, what's the phobes? Oh, the pubes? I think I may go out tonight. What the, shit, dude. I'm going out on my birthday. We're gonna go to the snack bar for my birthday. I'll see how my Filipino girlfriend likes this. What do you think? Now, Trump probably would love this. It's on the 15th. All right, let's go. All right, let's go. That's what I did. Look, I did my yard. I look younger, though. My peppers. I'm still getting peppers. Mmm. All right. Let's go. Oh my God. God damn, I'm orange. I should go to the onsen, see if the shit will come off. Then we're gonna go to the onsen. Then we're gonna go to the onsen. You can't get high munching on marigolds. I hate the garden. I hate the garden. Plug this in here. Yeah, I think Trump would be jealous. Let's go to the onsen and see if this shit will wash out. You know it's gonna be hilarious if this shit doesn't wash out. Now that's gonna be fucking hilarious. This is your new look. Orange Man. Just call me Orange Man. Well, I've been eating these African marigold. I don't know, is the African marigolds poisonous? Because that's the ones I planted. Orange. Orange. Mike's gonna be calling me soon. We gotta run to my house, drop off my shit, Well, I ate a shit ton of these. We'll see if I get poisoned. Shit, dude. I think I do look younger, though. Don't I look younger? I think I look younger. Look at my hair, it's like really got dark there. I think I look younger. My wife's gonna be jumping all over me tonight. My wife's gonna be like, oh my God. Ooh. I'm like, honey, get off me. I'm gonna be fighting women off me tonight. My snack girl's been fucking messaging me all the fucking time. My Filipino girlfriend, she's been sending me messages. She knows it's my birthday. She knows I go out. I go out with her once a year on my birthday. Doesn't look that bad at all. Yeah, I go out with my Filipino girlfriend once a year. That's it. Do you like the look? I like that. I hope it doesn't come out of my hair. I want my hair to stay this way. I like it. You got blonde hair again. How's everyone doing? The best result was when Shizuoka came in. I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? It's like, hey, you never know. Never know what's going to happen on the stream with Undao. Never know. Could be a boring stream. Could be a crazy stream. The Sliff. We need to put some fuck Donald Trump on. I think we need to do a video with fuck Donald Trump. It may be funny with the orange look. Look at this motherfucker's on the wrong side of the road. Holy shit. Hold on. Why is this mirror off backwards? Let's get some fuck Donald Trump on. I got on this one too. All right, play. Here we go.
Yo, got you. Let's crank this up to straight YG.
That's right, boys and girls.
FDT in the Cheeto, bro. West Coast gals. Competitive G home send head like fists. Versus slicing through the bullshit with zero chill. We're talking fake fuck Christian. Pedal loving Nazi after your command. Biz track on hit for gear. Holy rollers, child praying robes and swastika waving. Enablers pounding 808s. Snarling the midweek. Flash cave, no cap. All fire. Here's the full track. They praying abuse, but praying to God. Cross on the neck, devil in the heart. Ice jack boots marching. Gestapo glow up. Undocumented dreams getting stomped in the mud. Time to call it out. Fake fuck Christian. Fake fuck Christian. Peter loving Nazi. Hide behind the Bible, but your soul's getting flashing. I'm the fake Christian. Peter loving Nazi. Raids on the borders, kids in the trash. Fake fuck Christian. Peter loving Nazi. Table in the pulpit, time to expose the gas. Fake fuck Christian. Peter loving Nazi. We ain't burn no more. We rising, we crashing. Yo. Collar popping preacher with the devil's grin. Sermon on Sunday, sins on the weekend spin. Touching little lambs while the choir sings hallelujah. Then tweeting about borders like a border collie herd. Ice roll deep, bands black as midnight raid. Snatching mamas at dawn, leaving babies in the shade. You quote Leviticus, beloved Leviticus lies. Pedal paradise behind them stained glass eyes. Nazi flags waving at the mega church rally. Build a wall, chance while they building body tally. Undocumented sweat, built your golden steeple. Now you straight up evil. Fuck your tax breaks, fuck your holy waterfront. Where the flood coming, your art's getting sunk. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Hide behind the Bible, but your soul's getting flashy. Fuck the fake Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Raids on the borders, kids in the trash. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Tapo in the pulpit, time to expose the gash. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. We ain't praying no more, we rise and we crash. Alright, all the boys for Tiki Torch Flex. Preaching purity while they protecting the prince. Family values my ass, it's a family of frauds. Covering tracks like confessional broad. ICE agents praying before the dawn sweep. Cuffing dreams in the street, making grandmas weep. You love the orange channel, tweeting from the throne.
Come on, it's
but
fucking
your
light.
thinking puffed and when the truth gets shot. Pedal rings swinging like your collection plate. Nazi youth groups in the basement, stealing fake. We undocumented, but our fires are documented too. Burning through the hypocrisy, straight exposing you. No more turning cheeks, we flipping the script. Revolution in the wild, watch the empire slip. Christian, hell-loving Nazi. Please can stop all your time for promotion now. Yeah, fuck the frauds. There it is. Pure rage, repetitive like FDT, but laser focused on the fake piety and raids. Spin it over that G-funk bounce, and it's a banger. Wanna purge more verses or a beat breakdown? Consider it.
Still got you. Let's crank this up to straight YGFDT entity, that raw West Coast bounce. Repetitive chin hooks that hit like fists versus slicing through the bullshit with zero chill. We're talking fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi as the ultimate diss track on hypocrite. Holy rollers, child praying robes and swastika waving, enablers pounding 808, snarling delivery. Crowd scream, no cap, on fire. Here's the full track. Yeah, fuck the frauds. They pray in the pews, but pray in the dark. Cross on the neck, devil in the heart. Ice jack boots marching, Gestapo glow up. Undocumented dreams getting stomped in the mud. Time to call it out, fake fuck Christian. Pedo loving Nazi. Hide behind the Bible, but your soul's getting flashy. Fake fuck Christian. Pedo loving Nazi. Raids on the borders, kids in the trash. Fake fuck Christian. Fuck 'em, pedo loving Nazi. Burn it down. Gestapo in the pulpit, time to expose it. Fake fuck Christian. Pedo loving Nazi. We ain't praying no more, we rise and we crash. Yeah, yo, collar popping preacher with the devil's grant. Sermon on Sunday, sins on the weekend spin. Touching little lambs while the choir sings hallelujah. Then tweeting about borders like a border collie herder. Ice roll deep, vans black as midnight rays. Snatching mamas at dawn, leaving babies in the shade. You quote Leviticus, but love Leviticus lies. Pedo paradise behind them stained glass eyes. Nazi flags waving at the mega church rally. Build a wall chants while they building body tally. Undocumented sweat built your golden steeple. Now you call them demons, man, it's straight up evil. Fuck your tax breaks, fuck your holy waterfront. With a flood coming, your arcs getting sunk. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Hide behind the Bible, but your soul's getting flashed. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Raised on the borders, kids in the trash. Fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. Burn it down. Gestapo in the pulpit, time to expose the gate. Fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi. We ain't praying no more, we rise and we crash. Alright, altar boys with the Tiki Torch flex. Preaching purity while they protecting the preds. Family values my ass. It's a family of frauds, covering tracks like confessional bras. Ice agents praying before the dawn sweep. Cuffing dreams in the street, making grandmas weep. You love the orange idol, tweeting from the throne, but your guys getting ghosted when the truth gets shown. Pedo rings ringing like a collection plate. Nazi youth groups in the basement, sealing fake. We undocumented, but our files undocumented too. Burning through the hypocrisy, straight exposing you. No more turning cheeks, we flipping the script. Revolution in the rhyme, watch the empire slip. Fake fuck Christian, fuck pedo loving Nazi. Tear it down, ice can stop where your time's up. Revolution now. Fake fuck Christian, yeah, fuck the frauds. There it is, pure rage, repetitive like FDT. But laser focus on the fake piety and rage. Spit it over that G-funk bounce and it's a banger. On a bridge, more verses or a beat breakdown. Considerate. Fake fuck Christian. Fake fuck Christian. Yeah, yeah. Fuck the fraud. Got you. Let's crank this up to straight YGFDT. At a Raw West.
All right. Hope everyone's doing good. We got the orange man in the house. You guys have a good day today? What do you guys get up to? That's right, left side. I got these two bikes behind me. You see the bikes behind me? Let's zoom in. Is that a Ninja? What is that? What does he got? Honda? That's my security. I got my security escort. That's right. Undaudu security. Undaudu security detail. Following in. Oh, you got 3 or 4 fucking A, dude. Snow. That's crazy. Really, Chicago? That's good in a way. Fucking ICE agents. Motherfuckers. See what's going on the news. I like this guy.
Bullshit to say the Democratic Party doesn't have a national leader. It doesn't. It's not a matter of opinion or speculation. Leadership is a set of observable behaviors. You set a vision, you inspire people to follow you in pursuit of that vision, and when you deliver
Democrats don't have a leader.
Against those outcomes, you inspire more people to follow you, and a flywheel begins. And at the national level, there's only one person doing that. The difference between that one person and the limp defectors has become painfully clear over the past 24 hours. At a national level, Gavin Newsom is the only clear leader on the left. The reason why is because he's the only one delivering successful outcomes. What makes him successful is that he understands one simple fact.
Given the choice, the American people will always support strong and wrong versus weak and right.
Strong and wrong. Look no further than Donald Trump. Of course, I'm not talking about real strength. I'm talking about reality TV strength. Trump couldn't win an actual fight with a blow-up doll if you gave him a pair of scissors and named it E. Jean Carroll. It's TV-friendly performative strength, delivering lines like beat the hell out of him in Fire and Fury before lying down with a lukewarm Big Mac, and 8 hours of muted Caroline videos on loop propped on his bedside table. Trump is fake strong and real wrong. Leader cast by Michael Bay and screenwritten by the screening exam at the ADD clinic. But unfortunately, this is what Americans have been trained to follow. Then there's weak and right. I cannot fathom a better description of the academic liberals that have governed the Democratic Party since the 90s. Look no further than what Senator Angus King said in defense of his vote to support reopening the government. Without a single concession on the healthcare subsidies millions of Americans need. He actually sat down on television and said standing up to Trump didn't work. It actually gave him more power. God damn it, Angus You're named after a bougie fast food cheeseburger, but you're acting like a taco. I swear if some of these people were doctors, they would give hospice care to a kid with a broken finger. Sorry, son, we're gonna have to pull the plug. There's nothing more we can do. Don't worry, we'll hold a candlelight vigil. Such bullshit. Standing up to Trump is why he's blamed for the shutdown. Standing up to Trump is why he's not in California. Standing up to Trump is why his approval rating is in the 30s. And standing up to Trump is what motivated a tidal wave of voters to go and vote against his agenda. Fighting Trump is what put Gavin Newsom in the position he's in today, where he's chalked up win after win after win. Key difference is that Newsom didn't run away the moment the hits started landing. He hit back, and he hit back harder until he had won on behalf of the voters he was elected to represent. To put a very fine point on it, Newsom's response to the caving 8: you don't start something if you can't finish it. If Angus and this small group of collapsing Democrats actually stood on the firm ground beneath their soft shoes, they might stick around long enough to learn how Trump earned his taco nickname in the first place. Because failures have consequences. By fighting back, we keep the focus on the people accountable for those consequences. The most frustrating part is it was working. Until this pathetic capitulation, those consequences were landing like haymakers, hitting his approval rating, draining his political capital, tanking the Republicans in the voting booth. But the only way we actually deliver those knockout blows in 2026 and especially 2028 is if we can find it in ourselves to keep up the fight. Fighting is a hell of a lot easier when you've got the right leader fighting alongside you. Fortunately,
I'm scared for my parents to walk out there. To walk out their house because I might not be able to say goodbye to them if they go to work. I might not ever be able to say bye or see them again if you guys don't side with us. And I'm scared because of it, because they fought so hard to come here and choose a life for their kids. And I really hope you guys do hear what everyone in this room has been saying, and I hope you guys do side with us, because we are fighting for our rights, and we are getting treated like animals because people judge us by the color of our skin and the way that we talk. And we have a president that acts like a child and doesn't side with us because of the way he thinks about us. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of telling my mom and dad every day after school that, have you seen the new video of ICE pulling someone over because of the color of their skin? I'm tired of everything. And I hope you guys really do something about it, because I really do want something to change, because I should not live like this as a 16-year-old. I shouldn't be scared. I should be focusing on school when I can't even focus on school.
Can't imagine my son, Mikey, fearful that I was going to get
Regardless of how you feel about some of the Democrats capitulating and ending the shutdown, I still think most Americans should be asking themselves this question. Why would I support the Republicans when they are forcing lawmakers to choose between lowering health costs, maybe, and starving poor people? Once again, Democrats stuck trying to not do too much harm, and Republicans seemingly not paying as big a price for demanding harm. Regardless of how you feel about some of the Democrats capitulating and ending the shutdown,
really Trump. That is dude. The guy was fucking booed. You ain't no goat, dude. Goat is you know, goat represents the devil, right? The goat, the devil. The goat is the devil. U.S. Air Force food line. U.S. Air Force food line. In Nevada. Wow. U.S. Air Force in line for food in Las Vegas. There you go. That's Trump for you. Us millions of Americans going hungry.
There will be an investigation into everything, into the Qatari airplane, into the repaving the Rose Garden, into the ballroom, into every deal that the Trump family has made. I think they will try their best to cheat their way out of this next election because they know that if the Democrats win the House, it's over.
It's over.
Trump is over. He will be 80. He will not have a future in the party. He will not get anything passed in the government ever again. And there will be an investigation into everything, into the Qatari airplane, into the repaving the Rose Garden, into the ballroom, into every deal that the Trump family has made.
So if you're a business and you've made a donation to the ballroom, and we know that lots of businesses have, from Apple to Google to Amazon, what are you thinking now, given the strength of the reaction onto you?
Somebody, I hope, if you're a good business and you've got some kind of diversity of people left in your business, is saying to you, folks, you know, this particular chapter in American history is going to come to an end, and we've got to be prepared that it may not only go another way, but that the retributive, nasty, greedy Trump attitude is going to have burned some people, and if we're seen as being too close to them, we're going to pay a price.
Yeah, flying too close to the sun. What was that? What was the Greek? What was the story of the Greek?
Investigation into.
When you see Paul.
What was the guy who flew too close to the sun? What was his name? Anyone? Come on. Euripides or something? Who was it? Who flew too close to the sun? Guys are useless. Who flew too close to the sun? And his wings. That's Trump. Trump's the sun, dude. He's not going to be able to point to everybody. People are going to be hurt. People are going to go down. It's a Greek story, Jack. Jack, it's Greek. Ask ChatGPT. God damn it. Who flew too close to the sun?
It sounds like you're asking about Icarus from Greek mythology. He and his...
Icarus, that's right. Tell us about Icarus.
Well, Icarus is famous for ignoring his father's advice and flying too close to the sun. His father, Daedalus, was a skilled craftsman who built the wings out of feathers and wax so they could escape from the island of Crete. Daedalus warned Icarus not to fly too high or too low, but Icarus got caught up in the excitement of flying and soared towards the sun. The wax on his wings melted, and he plummeted into the sea. There are different versions of the myth, but they all highlight the dangers of hubris and not listening to your elders.
What were the other stories? Tell us the other versions of the myth.
So, the version we just talked about is the most common one, but there are a few other takes on the myth. Some people think Icarus was just a young guy who loved adventure and didn't really mean to disobey his dad. Others focus on Daedalus, who was so focused on escaping that he didn't pay enough attention to his son. What do
This is the first one.
Yeah, the idea of Icarus being a reckless young guy who just wanted definitely popular. It kind of makes, someone who got carried away in the moment and didn't think about the consequences.
Yeah, also, you can think of Trump as the sun and people flying too close to Trump, and they're going to get burnt when the system comes crashing down.
That's a pretty intense way to look at it. It definitely highlights the dangers of getting too close to power. Do you want to talk more about this analogy or explore other ways of thinking about the Icarus myth?
Well, explain it. Why? Explain how it relates.
In your analogy, Trump represents the sun, a powerful and potentially dangerous force. People who get too close to him, like Icarus, risk being burned or suffering negative consequences. This could mean getting caught up in scandals, facing legal trouble, or experiencing public backlash. What do you think about this interpretation?
Get this stuff out here. I found a huge beetle. A huge beetle grub.
Wow, a huge beetle.
The grub.
That's...
What could it be?
It's hard to say for sure without seeing it, but it could be a June beetle, a scarab beetle, or even a stag beetle. They all have pretty big larvae.
This one's
What does the grub look like?
It's huge.
That's amazing. It sounds like you're really excited about this beetle.
Well,
what are you planning to do with it? Given how big it is, it could be a rhinoceros beetle. They're known for their impressive size.
What's the habitat they like? It's winter time. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Tell me, look at that, how big that is.
Wow, that's definitely a big one. It's hard to tell from the video, but it could be a Hercules beetle. They're one of the largest beetles in the world.
It's in Japan.
Okay, since you're in Japan, it's likely a kabutomushi beetle larva. They're pretty common there.
What is it? What does it come out to look like? Like a rhinoceros beetle?
It'll turn into a Japanese rhinoceros beetle, also known as a kabutomushi. They're pretty cool looking, with a big horn on their head.
All right, so here's what I put it into this place like this. Look, I created this little thing here for it. I should put it kind of in a cool place now. Should I put any more stuff on top of it?
That's a great setup. It looks like you've got some good substrate in there for it to burrow into. You could add leaf litter or decaying wood on top, which will give it more to explore and feed on. Just make sure to keep the substrate moist by misting it with water every now and then.
It's winter time, so isn't it hibernating?
That's right, it's winter there, so the larva is probably hibernating. You could keep it in a cool place, like a garage or shed, where the temperature stays between 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 to 10 degrees Celsius. Then, when it warms up in the spring, you can bring it back inside to complete its metamorphosis.
All right.
お得な航空券をマップでチェック、アプリで簡単にフライト予約を管理。
We got an unbelievable show for you tonight. Later on, we're going to be joined out here as Veterans Day is coming up. Representatives Chris DeLuzio and Pat Ryan, co-chairs of the Democratic Veterans Caucus. They'll be out here in a little bit. Why not? Well, let's start tonight. Show you the big news out of Washington. The shutdown. By the way, tonight's show will be brought to you by I Can't Even Believe It. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, Edvard Monk's scream emoji doesn't quite convey how much you cannot believe it. And what, you ask, is it? Well, it is the Democrats. You remember the Democrats? They shut down the government last month for a very particular reason.
Any deal must secure the extension of the ACA tax credits.
This is about my party saying enough is enough.
Democrats will not back down.
Do not stop fighting. We're in this fight until we win this fight because we know we're on the right side of this fight.
It's literally life or death. So Democrats have 3 words for this. No way.
Well, funny story. Yes, Charles Schumer's 3 words were no match for these 5 other words.
Democrats cave on the shutdown.
Excuse me? Cave on the shutdown? Huh? Not this forceful, young, authentic Democratic Party that hangs out down by the river. And curses in what appears to be a cerulean blue blazer. And I say, no f***ing way. No, they f***ing caved on the shutdown. Not even a full week removed from the best election night results they've had in years. 7 Democratic senators voted with their Republican counterparts to end the shutdown and reopen the government. And did they get their extended health care subsidies?
Democrats wanted the deal to include extending subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. Instead, they got a promise to vote on it at a later date.
I cannot believe it! You had the wind at your back. Election victories all over the country. The new Sydney Sweeney movie, box office bupkis. Apparently, her new MAGA fan base didn't show up in droves to see a biopic about a lesbian professional boxer who overcomes domestic violence to live her truth. Who could have seen that coming? Democrats, you sold out the entire shutdown not to get what you wanted, but for a promise to not get what you wanted later. Where in the art of war? Hold on. Where in the art of, okay, here it is. I got it. Sun Tzu said, never press your advantage. It's unseemly. Fighting's hard. How about a snack? I can't believe it. And by the way, what good does a promise of a Senate vote even do for you, Democrats? You don't control the Senate. Do you even know how this shit works? Let's just say, for schnicks, that you managed to win a vote in the Senate, which you haven't done all year. Do you know what happens then? Give me, hold on 1 second. Give me the thing. I want to show you.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Well, I can't stay mad at Bill. But the point is this. Let's just say, you pass a bill out of the Senate that you don't control as Democrats. Guess what happens then?
Now I go to the House of Representatives and they vote on me.
Do you go to the House of Representatives? But they don't vote on it because Democrats don't control the House of Representatives either. Let's live in your 8-senator fantasy land. And you do, let's say you somehow convince old Cowlick McBabyface to hold that House of Representatives vote, and you win that one as well. Guess what happens then?
Well, then I'm off to the White House where I wait in a line with a lot of other bills for the president to sign.
The president? Yeah. You get it past the Senate, you get it past the House, and then the President of the United States. This guy?
Obamacare is a disaster.
Yeah, that f***ing guy. The Obamacare is a disaster guy. The guy who spent the weekend posting about how Barack Obama is collecting millions of dollars in royalties from Obamacare, a fact that Trump picked up from an 8-year-old satire article. Democrats, you gave up the only leverage you had without getting commitments from Trump or Mike Johnson.
Fucking idiots.
I cannot believe it. Surely someone in the party understands that offering a vote in the Senate without a commitment that it would pass or that the House would even take it up is an empty offer.
Offering a vote in the commitment that it would pass without a commitment that the House would even take is an empty offer.
I put in I have a little aquarium tank. I put it in there. I added some
You don't see him as
persimmon
one of the 8 voting yes.
Virginia Senator Tim
cuttings
Kaine
in
was
there.
a yes.
I can't believe it!
It's huge. Isn't that huge? It's the biggest grub I've seen.
There's got to be someone in this party who understands what's at stake with these expiring subsidies. Senator Jeanne Shaheen.
I had a meeting with some constituents last Friday when I was in New Hampshire. One was a man, he said, if I didn't have that insurance through the Affordable Care Act, I would not have gone to the doctor. I would not have gotten my cancer treated, and I would be dead by now. That's what this fight is about.
Now that's somebody who's not going to roll over. That is somebody who has the moral clarity and she voted yes, didn't she?
Jeanne Shaheen decided to vote yes.
That was the most weirdly coordinated thing. Not only was it coordinated, here was the most beautiful part about that booth. It started at a low timbre, and then it grew, and then a staccato.
Where Mikey is. Be right back. I gotta call Mikey.
Work together to paint this fence. No! He made you paint it! And then he just jumped in at the end and was like, we can't free Jim, it's not bipartisan. Yeah, that's what happened. You don't remember the book? That's what happened. I didn't remember the book, right? You might be wondering to yourself there, well, where's the Democratic leader? Mr. No way Chuck Schumer during all this. But ladies and gentlemen, he is on your social feeds. Glasses in the ready position, putting on a show.
Democrats have been fighting to get the Senate to address the health care crisis. This bill does nothing to ensure that that crisis is addressed. I am voting no, and I will keep fighting.
I don't believe this. And I mean that now literally. Chuck Schumer, your protestation be not believable. Look, either all 8 senators who voted to capitulate coincidentally are not up for re-election in 2026, or Chuck Schumer worked behind the scenes to give into the Republicans while still protecting vulnerable Democrats, including himself. You know, that's right. You know, humorously after the election, I mentioned to a couple of political analysts in the afterglow post-coitum about how the Democrats were going to squander their hard-earned electoral victories.
And I guess the question next for both of you is, how will they squander it? How? How will they piss this away?
You know, the only thing I love more than seeing my face on TV is seeing it on a webcam with no filters. Talk about needing health care, my God. Is jaundice contagious? What the? But it's a fair question. How would Democrats piss this away? Apparently, they did it something like this. Acting. This is a world-class collapse by Democrats. It would be like being up 10 points with 3 minutes left to go in a game and still finding a way to miraculously lose it for the 4th time in just 1 month. For those of you who don't follow the New York Football Giants, because let's say you value your time on this earth, this is a football team that on 3 separate occasions this season has blown games that, statistically speaking, based on their sizable leads vis-a-vis the amount of time left in the athletic contest, they had a 95 to 99% chance of winning. I refer you, for instance, to this win probability chart from Sunday's game against the Chicago Bears, where you can see the New York Giants' chance of victory climbs to 97% before they trip on their own dicks and fall down a flight of stairs. And again, I don't want to get too inside football here, but you're not supposed to do that. I have not had a good weekend. Now, for those of you who believe that professional sports and politics are an inept comparative, not only did the Democrats and Giants lose in the same, I can't fucking believe it, manner, they sound the same doing.
It's natural and appropriate to feel deep disappointment.
Disappointing outcome.
It was not the result many of us wanted.
Want to get the results that you hoped for and came up short?
It never feels good to come up short.
We came up short, and that was a tough one.
You learn and you prepare to do better in the future.
You're always learning and trying to be better. But not enough wins. Not enough wins.
We will win. We will win. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Inspired yet? So please, Democrats, I do not understand. Explain this to me like I eat with my feet. Why?
How do you explain, though, to your constituents why it was worth it to put up this fight for so long when in the end you did not get your key demand?
Because it wasn't working.
First of all, how are we being ruled by the only old people who don't stubbornly cling to shit whether it's working or not? That's the whole point of being an old person. What kind of an old person are you?
Well, maybe it is time to give up my driver's license. I mean, to be fair, I am a menace.
And second of all, it was working. It was working. Never has the gap between this administration and the people it claims to serve been so disgustingly visible than during this shutdown. This week, while the Trump administration was at the Supreme Court demanding that the court let them withhold food stamps from hungry Americans, Trump himself was at Mar-a-Lago with an all-you-can-eat shrimp and synchronized swimming buffet, while the president of Argentina danced the night away, securing the $20 billion we recently gave his country. And I gotta say, for $20 billion, you'd think he'd dance better than leprechaun jerking elephants. apologies to I am not trying to disrespect. By an elephant watching that going like, who's an elephant? What kind of an elephant, Dick? Point is this, don't get distracted. Americans were finally seeing the gap between how Donald Trump bends reality and actual day-to-day reality. This shutdown has focused America's attention away from his gift for distraction and onto stark actualities and seeing through, many for the first time, his bald-faced lying.
Can you just answer that question that tariffs have led to inflation? They have led to an increase in cost of living for most
We have
Americans.
no inflation. We have no inflation. Except that we have inflation! And normally, we have no inflation goes the way of, they're eating the cats and dogs, and I'm suing Rupert Murdoch because I'm not on the Epstein list, and all of the other lies that Trump deploys in his reality distortion arsenal. But miracle of miracles during the shutdown. The old songs ain't hitting like they used to.
Football fans loudly booed as Trump was shown on the Jumbotron during halftime at the Lions and Commanders game.
Do you know how unpopular you have to be booed by football fans while swearing in troops? And by the way, not just any football fans who still use the term Redskins. And not even with respect to the team, just casually. This is what the Democrats have squandered. A country finally shaking off Trump's Jedi mind tricks and saying, no, these are the droids we're looking for. And instead of pressing that advantage, perhaps neutralizing Trump's reality distortion field for good, the Democrats just suddenly went, droids? I guess we aren't looking for those droids. But you'll help us find them later, right? They squandered their leverage, sapped their voters' enthusiasm, and snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. And it's just too bad that we are now stuck with these leaders that we have on that side, and there's nothing that can be done about it.
This just in, the New York Giants have just fired head coach Brian Daboll.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Fucking Democrats. Motherfucking assholes. Assholes.
楽天ペイはモバイルSuicaとの連携が簡単。さらにチャージで楽天ポイントが貯まる楽天ペイ。
Now 357 days away from the midterms, and after a historic 40-day shutdown, the government may be reopening soon. Tonight, the Senate voted on a final passage of a funding deal negotiated by a group of Democratic senators and Republican leadership. The 8 Democrats backing the plan consisted of a mix of retiring lawmakers, not at risk, senators not up for re-election this cycle, not really at risk, and independent Angus King of Maine. The agreement funds the government at the existing levels through January 30th, approves 3 full-year appropriation bills for certain agencies, and reverses shutdown-related layoffs of federal workers. But one thing that the package does not include, the main issue Democrats shut down the government over, extending Affordable Care Act subsidies. The Democrats involved defended their decision, saying the Senate GOP promised to hold a vote by mid-December to extend these health care credits. Watch this.
It's been 6 weeks. There's been the Republicans made it clear they weren't going to discuss the health care issue, the Affordable Care Act, tax credits, until the shutdown was over.
Waiting another week or another month wouldn't deliver a better outcome. It would only mean more harm for families in New Hampshire and all across the country.
SNAP recipients were suffering, and there was no guarantee we would ever get to an ACA solution. Now we've got robust SNAP funding and a guaranteed vote, not a guaranteed outcome, but a guaranteed vote on ACA tax credits.
But this deal is causing a rift within the party, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who voted against the package, he's now facing some calls to resign. Meanwhile, MSNBC is reporting that House Speaker Mike Johnson told his members that a vote on the bill could come as soon as Wednesday. It would then need to be signed by President Trump, who backed the approach earlier today. At least he said he would.
It's too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
Mr. President, that deal does reverse the mass firings your administration put through during the shutdown. Did you sign off on that, and will you abide by that if this passes?
Well, I will be. I'll abide by the deal. The deal is very good.
All right, so you can sit back. We got a lot to unpack tonight, so let's get smarter. With the help of our leadoff panel, Luke Broadwater is here, Pulitzer Prize-winning White House correspondent for the New York Times. Michael Schnell, MSNBC congressional reporter who has been on the Hill all day. And Susan Glasser, staff writer for The New Yorker. Okay, Michael, this thing is not a done deal. The House needs to vote on Wednesday. What comes next?
Yeah, so Stephanie, we're reporting tonight that actually just a few minutes ago, House GOP leadership informed members that the first vote, remember, we're going to see a number of procedural votes to get this through the House, but the first vote, the earliest it could happen is 4 p.m. on Wednesday. So that's when we'll start to see the tires moving on this House bill. We'll see the House Rules Committee, which is the first step for legislation, meet tomorrow on the legislation. That's very likely. That's what we're expecting. And then we can get the wheels turning for potentially final passage in the House by Wednesday. I had reported earlier today that on a conference call, Speaker Johnson told his members he's hoping to get this done by Wednesday. So very clearly, a lot of urgency among House GOP leadership to finally get this bill to President Trump's desk. Today's day 41 of the shutdown. It's already the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Nobody on Capitol Hill wants to add days to that number.
Okay, Susan. From a purely political standpoint, I know there's some very frustrated people out there, but just play politics for a moment. Is compromising with Republicans now the best move for Democrats, right? The government reopens, planes are in the air, SNAP payments go out, federal workers get their jobs back, we are functioning again. And healthcare costs may get fixed, but if they don't, the blame falls squarely on Republicans. 40 days of this mess, the whole country knows, again, will be squarely on Republicans.
Well, that's right. So put aside the internal Democratic blame game for a second, Steph. And, you know, you can understand the logic of those who are supporting this bill in the sense that they argue that we've put the issue of healthcare back into the center of the conversation, that we've extracted, you know, this plan for a vote, not an outcome, but a vote in December in the U.S. Senate. By the way, no pledge in the House that they would also have a vote. So it does not seem like all that much of a concession that they've run there. But putting that aside, I think Democrats think this is an issue that they're looking to take into the 2026 midterm elections. Both healthcare and I think the issue is more committed to keeping the U.S. government open and functioning. Both of those are issues that are going to be stronger for Democrats politically. It was remarkable, in fact, to see the polls that suggested that voters, even many Republican voters, were willing to blame Republicans and or President Trump for the shutdown, even though it was Democrats who had decided on that as a political strategy. It underscores the extent to which Democrats are still seen as the governing party. They're definitely seen politically as the party that wants to deliver health care to you. I think Democrats believe that when those Obamacare premiums start to, you know, people start to see the price tag that they're being asked to pay, that combined with the higher prices that Donald Trump says are not higher prices but are lower prices, but we all know they're higher prices. When you add those things up, that you're looking at potentially a lot of very angry voters in the midterm elections.
So how, Luke, is the president and Republicans viewing this, right? Healthcare premiums are still going to go up for Americans, including Donald Trump's voters. And come January, the funding runs out again.
Yeah, this is a fascinating
situation because the White House feels like they won on the facts and the substance of this, that Democrats shut down the government. They didn't get anything for it. They took the offer John Thune made them a month ago and finally accepted it. And they feel like on the substance they won. But what happened during this month? Donald Trump used a sort of scorched earth campaign to bend Democrats into breaking, right? They refused to fund SNAP benefits. They tried to lay off thousands and thousands of government workers. They said they wouldn't pay people their back pay. On and on, the list goes on. They cut the flights. They said they would increase the pain at airports. They were using everything they could do to try to force the Democrats out of their stance of the shutdown. But in doing so, what all the polls show is that it looks like the Democrats won on the politics. That a contrast emerged where the Democrats were fighting for health care, they were fighting for government workers, they were fighting for the poor, and it looked like the Republicans and Donald Trump were the people willing to have people go hungry during this. So yes, maybe they won on the substance at the end of the day, but it seems like Democrats have a lot of political fire and fuel coming out of this.
I mean, I can see the billboard. While Donald Trump was fighting the court system to not pay SNAP benefits, we made a compromise and reopened the government. That's the argument they're going to be making. But Michael, I want to talk about the big E in the room, and I am not talking about the elephant. I'm talking about Epstein. Are we so absolutely sure that Donald Trump is going to sign off on this and reopen the government? Because once it opens, they're going to vote on the Epstein files.
Yeah, I mean, look, from all indications, you showed the tape. President Trump earlier today in the Oval Office. He's supportive of the deal. Of course, nothing's final until that pen actually hits the paper. But you bring up a good point that the Epstein is going to come back to the forefront once the government reopens and the House gets back into session. Johnson told House Republicans on a private call earlier today that swearing in Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva is going to be the first order of business. That's according to others on the call. So she is going to finally be sworn in after first winning her race for the seat back in September. It's been such a long time between that election and when she's finally going to be sworn in. Grijalva has made very clear she plans to be the 218th vote on that discharge petition. Now, I want to just note to folks watching now, it's not going to be immediate when we're going to see this vote. There's a lot of arcane procedure that surrounds these discharge petitions. Essentially, once that final, there needs to be at least 7 legislative days, which is a day that the House is in session, between when we could actually see a vote. So it's possible, because of Thanksgiving coming up in the House schedule, that we may not see a vote on releasing the Epstein files until maybe early December. But certainly, Speaker Johnson has told his members Adelita Grijalva will be sworn in this week. She's going to sign the discharge petition, and we will finally see this vote. We've been talking about this vote since over the summer. It's been a long time coming. So the Epstein files very much so going to be back on the forefront.
Susan, same question to you. We have all covered Donald Trump for a long time. And I can remember in the first administration talking to that White House when there would be terrible, outrageous headlines for the president. And they were always like, we're just going to ride it out. There'll be new news tomorrow. No one's going to care about this story. People have not been focused on the Epstein files because we've been focused on the shutdown. But the American people, and we're going to talk about it later in the show, but especially now that there's a whistleblower and new news about the way Ghislaine Maxwell is being treated with kid gloves in jail in Texas. People really still care about this. So do you think Donald Trump definitely wants to reopen? Because we're going to be back focused on Epstein, not us, the American voter.
Well, let's point out that it is remarkable that the Speaker of the House has kept the House of Representatives out of session since I believe it was September 19th. So actually predating the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, the House has not been allowed to come into session, essentially because Mike Johnson was running interference and protection with Donald Trump. And that is a really remarkable thing. I can't think of anything like it. I began my career covering Capitol Hill for a local newspaper for 8 years. I just, there's nothing that's ever been like this. Not only for the Speaker of the House to essentially put one of the two chambers out of business for such a long period of time, but to do so at the behest of the president. It certainly underscores that the Republican Party on Capitol Hill is not really an independent entity.
They must
anymore,
have shit on him.
As a separate branch of
They
government,
must have
but
fucking
essentially
shit
as a
on him.
dependent or even a codependent branch of government along with the White House. So that's one thing. They've been running interference for Donald Trump. At a certain point, the music stops on that. It's an issue that you've got to wonder if they're willing to take such extreme measures.
Hey,
attention.
How you doing, Patrick?
What is it exactly that Trump is so concerned about that he's willing to basically?
We're about to find out if this shit comes off. Come on, I may be orange. It's Marigold. I use Marigold. I gave myself a wash with Marigold. You missed it earlier this stream. Orange. Orange is the new in. I think everyone needs to go orange. You know? I think I'm gonna go to the onsen. I think I'm gonna go onsen. I don't know where my son is. Yeah, I'm gonna go get a towel. We're gonna go to the onsen, see if it comes off. I don't know where my son is.
President Trump getting his
right
wish
back.
to prolong the
go
pain
get a
and
towel,
uncertainty of the government
underwear.
shutdown for millions of desperate Americans. Last night, the United States Supreme Court temporarily granted the Trump administration's request to withhold SNAP food aid, pausing a federal judge's previous ruling ordering the administration to fund the aid immediately. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the emergency justice on duty, granted the pause to give an appeals court more time to rule on the case, which Justice Jackson said is expected, quote, with dispatch. Attorney General Pam Bondi praised the decision to deprive people of food, saying Justice Department attorneys, quote, will not stop fighting day and night to defend and advance President Trump's agenda. That agenda includes new chaos for the 42 million Americans who rely on SNAP. This latest Trump administration effort to inflict cruelty comes as Democrats offered a new plan to end the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Yesterday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer proposed a one-year extension of expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies to address skyrocketing healthcare costs. But Senate Republicans immediately ruled that proposal out. Majority Leader John Thune called it a, quote, non-starter. After the drumming Republicans took in key races on Tuesday, the president privately blamed the shutdown for Republican losses. But the issue of America's growing affordability crisis also propelled Democrats to sweeping wins this week. President Trump responded by dismissing the issue while rewriting his own economic record.
We are the ones that have done great on affordability. They've done horribly on affordability. So I don't want to hear about the affordability because right now we're much less. Energy costs are very low. Our general costs are very low. The reason I don't want to talk about affordability is because everybody knows that it's far less expensive under Trump.
Joining us now, Molly Jong-Fast, MSNBC political analyst, contributing writer at the New York Times, and host of the Fast Politics podcast, and Kirsten Allen, a Democratic strategist and former White House senior advisor. Molly, Kirsten, welcome to the weekend. He doesn't want to talk about affordability, and yet he keeps talking about affordability. Do you think that he knows that Republicans got shellacked because they didn't discuss affordability?
My favorite moment was Pam Bondi coming out bravely giving people food stamps for which there are tax dollars waiting. You know, like we are coming out against feeding people, hungry children, 40% children.
Defying court orders too, let's not forget.
We're taking this to the Supreme Court so we can make sure we don't have to feed people that we, and it's like not Donald Trump's money. This is our money. These are tax dollars waiting there to feed these hungry children.
Insane. What's it? All right, let's go on set. Patrick.
Doing this. Let me show 3 iPhone mistakes made by old people. Number 1 is deleting photos manually. Number 2 is deleting all the apps on the phone.
Oh, I'm sore.
After that electoral rout by Democrats less than a week ago, surprisingly, I admit I was wrong. Trump didn't do anything weirder than usual to try to step on the tail of that story, to try to change the subject, to try to make the triumphant Democrats look weak again instead of strong. He didn't do anything different.
Nope.
Now, the people who really changed course, the people who intervened to change the story, to stomp on the tail of that Democratic victory and make the Democrats look weak and confused and divided and aimless, were, of course, the Democrats themselves. Democratic Senate leader Chuck Schumer could not hold his caucus together in the Senate. And so, less than a week after those Democratic triumphs in that election, the worst week of Donald Trump's presidency, for some reason, 8 Democratic senators decided this was the right time to give up on the Democrats' previously sturdy and unified demand that Republicans needed to fix the disaster they just created for the American people.
Schumer needs to go.
Health insurance and health insurance costs. They just decided to give up. And so now we are on track for the 41-day government shutdown to come to an end sometime soon, because Democrats inexplicably just gave in without any visible concessions from the Republicans at all. Certainly without any meaningful concessions.
That's true.
And that's the kind of behavior you might expect from a party that was at a low ebb in terms of its power and its standing with the American people.
Really betrayed us, those 8 senators.
Democrats just worked their tails off to win these huge election victories all over the country last week.
And then they fucking throw it away.
Unprecedented success, probably their best election outcomes in like a decade, right? In terms of across the board wins.
Only be thrown under the bus.
Americans urging Democrats to fight harder.
We're gonna roll over.
Urging
like fucking
Democrats
pussies
to
that we are.
stand up and take an even tougher stance against Trump and the Republicans. Americans just held one of the biggest protests in American history, bolstering the Democrats in this fight, telling them to fight harder, to not give in. The polls and the polling showed they were finally winning both the argument and the elections to prove it. And so,
yeah, let's cave.
8 Democratic senators decided to cave in exchange for nothing. Since the government shutdown began 41 days ago, Democrats in Congress have been united trying to protect Americans from skyrocketing health care costs. So why did they do this deal tonight? To end the shutdown without achieving protections along those lines. Democrats didn't get Republicans to reverse the cuts to Medicaid. Democrats didn't get a guarantee on subsidies for Obamacare. They're apparently going to get some future standalone vote on Obamacare funding that Republicans will definitely vote against.
Maybe they got paid off. I bet they got paid off.
Even the national chairman of the Democratic Party has blasted what moderate Democrats did in the Senate tonight. Ken Martin says he stands with the Democrats who refuse to rubber stamp the full-scale Republican assault on Americans' health care. Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the Democratic senators who caved tonight are, quote, going to have to explain themselves. And then there's Chuck Schumer. He is the leader of the Democrats in the Senate. Senator Schumer says that this deal was terrible, and he himself voted no on it, but he apparently did not have sufficient control of his caucus in the Senate to stop this from happening. With Democrats at the height of their power under Trump so far, why cave now? The Senate just moments ago passed this bill to end the shutdown with those 8 Democratic senators voting in favor. What's happening here? Joining us now live from Washington is Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. He is one of the senators who is opposing this deal. And with an exclamation point, Senator, it's good to see you. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Let me just get your reaction to this vote tonight and tell us why you think it happened tonight the way it did.
It is a terrible vote.
I don't know what you're fucking
what
doing,
will
dude.
do, Rachel, is raise health insurance premiums that are already sky high. It's going to double them, in some cases triple and quadruple them. It's going to pave the way for 15 million Americans to be thrown off of Medicaid. 15 million people. Studies suggest that when you throw low-income and working-class people off of the health care they have, some 50,000 will die unnecessarily every year. 50,000 people will die unnecessarily. So this was a terrible, terrible piece of legislation. Democrats, as you've just indicated, had the wind at their backs. They came off an extraordinary election. We came off last month having 7 million people coming out and say, no kings in America. And what we lost in this vote is not only the suffering that's going to take place with people who can't afford health care. You're going to have a president who says, see, I always told you, the Democrats are weak. And yes, I'm an authoritarian. I want more and more power. And you can't stop me.
オーストラリアの魅力をみんなにもっと知ってほしくて、暴れる君が
Can't give in to a fucking bully. These motherfuckers, dude. Yeah, gave in to a fucking bully.
That's what this vote was about.
Yep.
I think a lot of people who agree with you on the substance here, Senator, may be torn tonight between sort of righteous anger at the Democrats who chose to give up their point of maximum leverage and to cave, as you said, to reward Trump for what he's done around the shutdown, to reward him for the pain and the cruelty with which he foregrounded his actions in the shutdown. But they may be torn between that anger and feeling like Democrats fighting each other right now is the last thing we need. We have such a threat to this country, to the existence of our democracy as a country. This can't be the time for Democrats to say, remove their leadership or engage in scorched earth primaries against one another.
Fucking get them
in
out.
Electoral politics. I admit to feeling all of those things myself and to seeing a lot of that today among a lot of different people I respect. How do you feel about those conflicting emotions?
Look, I think the leadership, this is no great secret. It is my view that the leadership of the Democratic Party in many respects is way out of touch with where Democrats in general are, where many independents are, where the grassroots of America are. The division that we're seeing in the Democratic Party right now are those who get a whole lot of money from wealthy campaign contributors. They hire consultants. And I got to tell you, that consultant class
needs to go. Let's see what she's up to. I like her. Jezebel. Jezebel vibes.
Like what we say doesn't mean you haven't heard us. And not representing us isn't gonna make us go away.
Was this her last video? She hasn't been on since then? Did she get arrested or something? How about shorts?
I would love nothing more than to piss off every single person that is screwing over the constituents of District 1. The people that
She hasn't been on in a while.
are the cause of people about to lose their Medicaid. People that aren't going to get their SNAP payments this month because the House won't do their job and they won't negotiate and compromise. Because they want to do whatever Trump says. They want to give up their power.
They did. They gave up their power. They gave up their power.
ways to get wealthy right now is to play into the authoritarian's handbook. People start showing up with gold engraved tacky trophies and saying they love spending time with Melania. Jesus Christ, Tim Cook. What a fucking coward you are. Literally, what a coward you are. Right up there with Bob Iger. Literally Neville Chamberlain in a cashmere sweater minus the dignity. All these people bending a knee. And why do they do it? Because they feel a lot of responsibility. They're fiduciaries for their shareholders, and the temptations to make more money are so huge. If we're waiting on the better angels of companies, of CEOs to show up, don't hold your breath. Sam Altman, all these fucking douchebags showing up and bending a knee so they can get richer, so they can get their $8 billion instead, from 7 billion. I've been hugely disappointed. And there's 500 S&P companies who, name one that's directly said, no, I'm not putting up with an authoritarian rule. I have no fidelity to the very principles that made me so fucking rich. I find it incredibly disappointing. I don't think we can rely on the better angels of companies. I think it has to be voters. I think it has to be citizens. I think it has to be protest. I think it has to be talking to your friends about what's wrong with this. I like the idea of a national economic strike where people stop buying shit on a certain day or targeting certain companies with specific asks. So I think there are things we can do,
Black
but I think
Friday.
waiting
Stop
on
Black
the better
Friday.
angels of CEOs, don't hold your breath. It never fucking happens. One of the best ways to get wealthy right now is to play into the authoritarian's handbook. People start showing up with gold engraved tacky trophies and saying they love spending time with Melania. Jesus Christ, Tim Cook. What a fucking coward you are. Literally, what a coward you are. Right up there with
I don't have any opinion on it, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go let you guys just watch the sunset. Oh, fuck it. I'm just gonna end the stream. I'm ending the stream. Gonna take a shower, be back later.